Hi guys, today we are presenting a movie review on Life of Pi, a 2012 adventure drama film directed by Ang Lee. This movie based on the best-selling novel by Ian Matrell and tells the story of a teenage boy named Pi who survived 227 days at sea with a Bengal tiger. Novelty and originality of movie. When we talk about Life of Pi, one of the first thing that stands out is how originality the concept is. On the surface, it's look like a survival story, but it is also a spiritual journey wrapped inside a boy meet with tiger at sea setup. The story behind the Pai Patel, a cu- curious and religious boy from India who grows up in a zoo and slowly takes us into a massive storm and then a tiny lifeboat in the middle of the ocean. What makes this film different from other survival movies is that it does not just show the physical struggle, it also questions how we see reality, faith, and trust. One of the most unique part in this dual story structure is that at the end, Pi tells two versions of what happened on the boat, one with animal and one without. So, in the terms of originality, the life of Pi stands out because it blends adventure, religious philosophy, and visual spirituals in a way most film does not attempt. It feels like a modern preamble rather than just entertainment. That's why many reviews remember it is not only for the tiger or the ocean, but for the question it leaves behind. The key learnings and takeaway. If we ask, what do we learn from Life of Pi? The answer is not more than just how we survive on a boat. The film teaches us about faith, resilience, and the power of storytelling. Pi journey is not only about surviving hunger, storms, it's also how we keep believe in something bigger than himself. He practices Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity, showing that for him, faith is not about rules, it is about connections and meaning. One of the biggest takeaway is that hope and belief can be a survival tool. When everything is dark and empty around him, Pi keeps routine and talks to the tiger and continues to tell his story. This teaches us that even in our thought times, exams, family problems, career stress, how we interrupt our struggle can decide whether we break or grow. For students, this can be a reminder that our mindset matters more than the situation itself. Another important lesson is about truth and perspective. The film suggests that sometimes the version of the events that feels meaningful and comforting might be more valuable than the strictly factual version. Pai says, if you stumble at practicing humanity, gives subsistence to your hope. This line tells us that kindness, imagination, and hope are not just emotions, they are strategies for living. So, a key takeaway from Life of Pi is that whether with a tiger or with a life problem, what we choose to believe can change how we experience reality.
I would be talking about the strengths of the movie. When we talk about the strengths of The Life of Pi, the first thing that comes to our mind is the visual beauty. The ocean, the sky, the night with the floating fish and the jellyfish, and even the mysterious island sequence, all were crafted with so much detailing in the film that it feels like a visual masterpiece. And Ang Lee used 3D technology in a very thoughtful way, not just for action, but to make the audience feel as if they were sitting on the lifeboat of Pi. The immersive experience of one of the strongest assets of the film. Another major strength was the direction and the storytelling. The film was balanced, and the dramatic shipwreck in the middle of the sea, the survival, the long middle section, and the emotional ending were very smoothly taken. And it always felt like it was a very smooth going movie. And even though the story is heavy, it never feels boring because there were always new surprises, with whether it was the whale jumping or a storm or a strange island. So there were varieties of things going on in the movie. The film also manages to mix religion, philosophy, adventure without becoming preachy, which is a rare skill in a cinema. The central performance by Suraj Sharma, who plays the teenage Pi, is also a big strength. The first major role he carries in the entire emotional weight of the film, showing fear, loneliness, courage, even moments of humor. His expressions and reactions makes us feel Pi's loneliness and determination as if we were sharing a boat with him. Because of that, the film feels personal and intimate, even though it, its themes were very large. Finally, the music and the sound design had a lot of mood to it. They added a lot of mood to the film. They were very concise and precise. The background score by Michael Dana supports the emotional tone of the film, peacefully when the ocean is calm, intense when the danger comes. So there was a lot of drama going on with the music as well. So combined with all the elements, Life of Pi becomes a film that is strong not only in idea but also execution. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Aditya S. I'm from ENVC Specialization. Now I'm gonna talk about the areas of improvement or weakness of the movie Life of Pi. Now, a fair review is not only about what a movie does well, but also about where it could be better. One of the main weakness of Life of Pi is pace and structure. The middle part of the film, where Pi is stuck on a lifeboat for many days, can feel slow and repetitive for some viewers. There are long stretches with very little dialogue, and even though this is meant to show loneliness, it can push some people to lose focus. Another issue is the heavy physiological tone and ending of the movie. Not everyone enjoys thinking about multiple versions of the same story or questioning what is real. Some viewers might feel the film is too abstract or confusing, especially if they are watching it casually without much patience. Also, the twist at the end may feel vague and unsatisfying for those who prefer clear, straightforward endings. From a content age point of view, there are moments of violence and fear, like the tiger presence and Dark Island. which can feel intense for a younger audience, while the elements support the story that might not be suitable for all age groups overall. The film could be improved by making the boat sequence a bit more varied or adding some more emotional checkpoints so the audience does not feel stuck for long. Still, the weakness are not enough to ruin the experience. They are more like areas where the film can be challenging rather than perfect.
Hi, I will be talking about motivation, message, and audience impact. The motivation behind Life of Pi is to make us think about our own life, faith, and the stories we tell ourselves. The film suggests that suffering is part of life, but how we interpret it can decide whether we are broken or stronger. Pi's journey is not just about staying alive, it is about finding meaning in the pain and choosing a story that gives him hope. This can be a very motivating message for anyone going through a difficult phase, be it exams, family pressure, or career confusion. Another powerful message is that all religions, at their core, are about love, kindness, and care. Pi's respect for different faiths show that spirituality does not have to be limited to one label. This film encourages us to be open minded and to see the world from many angles instead of judging people just because they believe differently. In a world where people often argue about religion and culture, this is a very relevant idea. In terms of audience impact, many viewers say that Life of Pi left them quite thoughtful and sometimes even emotional. Some people watch it once and immediately want to watch it again to understand the layers better. This kind of impact, where a movie stays in your mind after it ends, is usually a sign of a meaningful and powerful story. Thank you.
Overall assessment and final verdict. If you look at Life of Pi from an overall perspective, it is easy to see why it is considered a critically acclaimed and visually stunning film. It won several awards, including Academy Awards, and is praised for its direction, storytelling, and technical brilliance. This film is not just entertaining, it's thoughtful, emotional, and at times even spiritual. It invites us to reflect on our own beliefs, how we interrupt our struggles, and the power of stories in our lives. Of course, as we discussed, it's not perfect. Some viewers may find the middle section slow and the ending a bit confusing. However, when we weigh its strengths, beautiful visuals, strong direction, deep themes, and a memorable performance against its weakness, the balance is clearly in its favor. For our group, we would rate Life of Pi as a strong 8 out of 10 or 4-star movie. We recommend it to people who enjoy deep, meaningful stories and stunning visuals more than fast paced action. If you're ready to think and feel while watching, this is a film that can stay with you for a long time.